So welcome back to yet another session on vitamins. Today we shall have a look at biotin, which is vitamin B7. First of all, as usual or as always, we shall look at the chemistry or the structure of the vitamin. In all our sessions on vitamins, specifically of vitamin B complex, we have gone into the sequence that first we will learn about the structure, followed by learning about the chemistry, about its stability, then its food sources, its occurrences, then about its metabolism, and what would happen if there is some kind of a deficiency. But today's session is going to be slightly different. There will be a story which will be narrated about a certain disorder related to this topic. So let's get started. Biotin is a heterocyclic monocarboxylic acid. It is a sulfur containing water soluble with B vitamin. This is the most important part of it. There is presence of a sulfur in vitamin B7 or biotin. The structure of the compound was worked by Du Vignard, which is as follows. This structure was worked by this scientist Du Vignard, and it also has an acidic group at the end. It consists of two fused rings, one imidazole and the other is thiophene derivative. Biotin is chemically hexahydro 2-oxo 1-thieno 3,4 imidazole 4 valeric acid. Quite a long name. So it is, again let me repeat the chemical name. It is hexahydro 2-oxo 1-thieno 3,4 imidazole 4 valeric acid. Two forms with essentially identical biological activities of vitamin B7 are alpha biotin, which is present in egg yolks, and beta biotin, mostly present in liver. These are those forms with essentially identical biological activities. First one being alpha and the second one being beta biotin. Differing only in the nature of the side chain. So they only differ in the nature of its side chain. Otherwise, their biological activities are very similar to vitamin B7. Biotin is said to occur both as free form and bound form in tissues and foods. So it can occur in both the forms. Egg white injury. So this was the story or background I was talking about at the intro session. Bose in 1927 described egg white injury in rats who were fed with diets containing raw egg white. Cooked egg white was not found to be toxic. William and co-workers in 1940 demonstrated that egg white injury was actually due to an antivitamin present in egg white. This substance is avidin. Avidin is an antivitamin, a basic protein. Its ability to inactivate biotin was confirmed in 1941, a year later after William and co-workers demonstrated the egg white injury. It is because it consists of avidin. It is a basic protein and it has the ability to inactivate biotin. Biotin can be synthesized by many bacteria, yeast, and fungi. In green plants, it may be formed in leaves and the roots. Coenzyme R is the growth essential for the nitrogen fixing organisms, rhizobium, in the root nodules of leguminous plants. So this coenzyme R is essential for growth and for nitrogen fixing organisms. Coenzyme R had been proved to be biotin. Pymalic acid is possible precursor and this thiobiotin a probable intermediate. So these could be the pimelic acid could be the precursor, and this thiobiotin could be its intermediate when there is formation of coenzyme R. Biotin may be stored to a limited extent in the liver and kidneys. Studies with labeled biotin has shown that a maximum of 14% of administered dose was stored in the liver. It is excreted in urine, feces and milk. Normal adult on an adequate diet excretes 10 to 180 microgram daily in the urine and 15 to 200 microgram daily through the feces. Fecal excretion probably represents unabsorbed biotin synthesized by intestinal bacteria. So this is the biotin which is unabsorbed, which is synthesized by the bacteria and is usually excreted out through the feces. Let's move on to the food sources. It is widely distributed in plants and animals tissue. Occurs chiefly as water-soluble form in most plant materials except cereals and nuts. Except in cereals and nuts. Mainly it is in a water-soluble form in animal tissues. So it is mainly in water-soluble form in animal tissues. Food rich in biotin includes, for example, animal sources are liver, kidney, milk and milk products, and egg yolk. As we have seen that mostly liver and kidney, they are the richest among all for among all the animal sources for certain vitamins. To be more specific, vitamin B complex. Vegetable sources include vegetables, legumes, grains, which are good sources. Molasses contain good amount of biotin. Exceptionally large amounts are present in royal jelly bee. As we have already seen in the previous sessions that royal jelly bee is a good source for this vitamin B7, vitamin B5, vitamin B6. All these vitamins are a good or the richest source of these three vitamins. Royal jelly bee is the richest source. Human beings cannot synthesize the vitamin and it has to be supplied in the diet. As already mentioned that all these vitamins have to be supplied through the diet. But bacterial flora in the intestine can synthesize the vitamin and is therefore a good source. So they produce enough of the vitamin but not that much which is required by the body. Hence we need to supply the vitamins sufficient enough to meet our daily requirements. It is difficult to arrive at a quantitative requirement of this vitamin as it is ubiquitous and as intestinal bacteria synthesize and supply the vitamin. So this supply of vitamin B7 cannot be stopped because there are intestinal bacteria which support the supply of this vitamin. However, we cannot comment on the daily requirement. But the requirement increases in cases of pregnancy and lactation, oral antibiotic therapy for prolonged period. So people who are on oral antibiotic therapy, they might need the excess amount of vitamin B7 as they might have studied about these things. These statistics are based on certain studies that because of in cases of pregnancy or in the lactation or when people are administered with oral antibiotic therapy for a longer time, their requirement of vitamin B7 will increase. So that is it. That's the end of the session on vitamin B7. I hope it was an interesting session to all. Thank you very much.